what you want, bitch, I'm a fucking phenomenon.
Yep.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to our sports podcast where we talk about sports and stuff. I'm here with Aaron, the big man, and Gerald, the other big man, and then me, Sam. I'm not very big, but I hang out with these guys. Today we got a few things we want to talk about. One in specific is going to be the NFL MVP race. Gerald, what do you think? Who should be the MVP of the NFL this year?
In my opinion, I think it should be Aaron Rodgers, and here's why. I see the MVP as exactly its title, most valuable player. What's the most valuable player on the football team? It would be your quarterback. You could argue that that's the most valuable position in sports is the quarterback. Every year, the first two picks, one of them's a quarterback, pretty much. And Aaron Rodgers has shown this year through everything that happened last year, them taking a quarterback in the first round, basically calling him off. Reports such as Pro Football Focus ranking him outside of the top 50 in players in the league. So he had something to prove this year, and he shut a lot of people up with a close to a 10 touchdown to 1 interception ratio. He's led his team to a first seed in the NFC, in a tough NFC, and he doesn't make a whole lot of mistakes. And you can argue, other than Devontae Adams and maybe Aaron Jones here and there, he doesn't have a whole lot of help on the offensive side. So, in my opinion, I think it should be Aaron Rodgers, but I can understand Derrick Henry. I can even understand Pat Mahomes. Other than those three, I don't really see a conversation where I can listen to. But yeah, Rodgers is my MVP.
Okay.
If I had a vote.
Aaron, what do you think?
I don't.
Okay. So I want to start. I'm not gonna say anything about Aaron Rodgers because if I was arguing for Pat Mahomes, I definitely would.
Okay,
but
so it's not Pat Mahomes, obviously.
So it's not Pat Mahomes for me. My MVP is Derrick Henry, and honest to God, I don't think it should be all that close. Aaron Rodgers has had a fantastic season, but what Derrick Henry has done this year has been done one other time ever by any other running back, and that is over 2,000 yards and 15-plus rushing touchdowns. He has 2,027 yards, and he has 17 touchdowns on the ground, I'm pretty sure. And there's a couple stats I want to just throw out there. So rushing yards this season, Derrick Henry's number one, obviously. Dalvin Cook is number 2 with 1,557. Jonathan Taylor is third with 1,169. Aaron Jones is fourth with 1,104. And Derrick Henry would be ranked fourth in the NFL if he didn't take a snap in the first half of any game this season. If he didn't play the first half at all, he would be fourth in the league in rushing yards. And he would be like, I did the math earlier. The distance between Derrick Henry and Dalvin Cook right now is essentially the exact same as it would be if Derrick Henry didn't play in the first half from Dalvin Cook, like 400 yards. He'd be 400 yards behind Cook, and that's how much Cook's behind him right now. And then the other one I want to say is since 2019 regular season games, well, Derrick Henry has 3,566 rushing yards. Dalvin Cook is next best with 2,692. But Derrick Henry, after contact, would have more yards than Dalvin Cook since 2019. And I know it's a quarterback award, like right now it is, because the league's changing, or it has changed already, I should say.
Yeah.
But what can a running back do to win the MVP anymore? Because if this can't win an MVP, no running back should win an MVP again. I mean, he's done literally everything you can ask him for, other than break the rushing touchdowns record. But the two guys that have the most touchdowns in a season, neither one of them have ever rushed for 2,000 yards either. So, like, maybe the day that's done, you know, and we can get an MVP running back again. But the Titans without Derrick Henry would not be a 500 team. They wouldn't be in the playoffs.
What about Green Bay without Aaron Rodgers?
Okay, I mean, yeah, you can say that too. I don't think Green Bay. I mean, but Green Bay, you know, people talk about how Aaron Rodgers doesn't have help. He has a great offensive line.
Yes.
The fifth leading rusher in the NFL, Aaron Jones, and probably the best wide receiver in the league right now.
Yeah, Devontae's really good.
I mean, up for debate, obviously. Devontae Adams is a freaking monster.
Yeah, he's pretty good.
And I'm not, like I said, I don't want to try to take away what Aaron's done, because what he proved was crazy. Like, last year, everybody gave up on him. Everybody, even his own team. And he came out and did this. That's crazy. And I commend that. But I just think Derrick Henry, if he can't win MVP this year, then I don't think a running back's going to win for
ever.
I don't know.
Should win.
I definitely see all your points.
So,
I definitely see all your points. I'll let Sam get in on this, but I definitely see all your points. And, you know, I see where you're coming from. If this is what it takes and he can't win MVP doing all this, then, I mean, it should be the best quarterback award.
Yeah, it should. The name should be changed, because I don't know.
You know, that's kind of like where I'm at right now, because truthfully, I don't think it's Pat. Granted, Pat didn't play the last game. So, you know, by process of elimination, I would have to say Aaron Rodgers, because that's who it was against all season for me anyway.
At least since week 6.
Yeah.
Russ was cooking.
Yeah.
Russ was cooking for a while,
sure.
but he dropped off.
So, yeah,
too much weight was put on Russ's back, but yeah. Go ahead, Sam.
Yes.
Pretty much like you guys were saying, it's a quarterback race at this point. I would like to see truthfully, I would like to see Derrick Henry win it. Just because I don't like that the same position wins certain things all the time, you know. Good.
I will say one thing before you continue. This year might be different. Because a wide receiver just won the Heisman.
Yeah,
for the first time since 1991. So, like, who knows what's going to happen? I know that's different, but, like, you never really know.
Yeah.
Because honestly, I didn't think Devontae Smith had a real shot at it, to be honest, even though he's had this season.
Oh, no. I thought it was a Trevor Lawrence, Justin Fields race.
I was watching.
Justin Fields was barely in the top. I mean,
yeah, I don't even
the top
remember.
10, I think.
Yeah, something like that. It was pretty low. You're pretty high.
I was watching throughout the weeks, like, Heisman probability chart or whatever, and I didn't realize that, like, their week 12 or whatever, I think it was week 12, 11 or 12, like, Trevor Lawrence really dropped off, like, bad. He dipped pretty low and then came all the way back up.
Well, he missed those games from COVID.
COVID.
I guess that makes sense.
And
I
then,
didn't even think about that.
You know, and a lot can be said about the conference he played in. How many minutes, how many games did he miss out on? But you can make the same case for Alabama, you know. Mm-hmm. When you're steamrolling everybody and you don't get – I mean, that was like last year with Tua. How many fourth quarters did he play in? 3, 4?
Yeah, not very many.
You know? So that's a lot of stats and that's a lot of games. A lot of games left on the table, you know.
Yeah.
So,
a lot of clocks.
But no, I definitely understand the Derrick Henry take. And another thing you got to look at though is his volume.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You got to look at his volume when he's getting. I want to say it was anywhere from 330 to about 350 carries throughout the season. You know. Granted, he averaged 5 yards a carry, you know, which is incredible.
Yeah, I think he was fourth or fifth in the league in yards per carry.
And more than any running back that I've seen in recent memory, he wears you down.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You know,
He reminds me
he
of
might,
Marshawn Lynch in his prime.
his first half numbers, they might not look, you know, he might be averaging 3 yards a carry, but by the time fourth quarter rolls around, none of those guys want to tackle him.
Yeah.
Nobody on that defense wants to tackle him because he's 250 pounds, 6'3", 6'4", coming downhill at you. I wouldn't want to tackle him.
Hell no. I would not
You
want to
can't
stand
pay
in front of
me-
that body
Pay
for
me enough
sure.
money. Hell no. So, no, I don't like the fact that unless you play the quarterback position or you just have an amazing defensive year, you know, because there's a lot of defensive guys that aren't even getting talked about.
Yeah.
You got Xavier Howard, who's had 10 interceptions this year. TJ Watt.
Defensive
who's had-
Player of the Year is probably the hardest award you can win.
Yes. Yep.
Because I'm pretty sure every position on the defensive side has won a Defensive Player of the Year throughout, the NFL's history. So it's literally like every single starter for every team has a real opportunity
Mm-hmm.
to win that. In MVP, no offensive linemen, no tight ends, those aren't even considered. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And a wide receiver, I couldn't. The
You'd
quarterback
have to
and
have
that wide receiver is going to win.
Yeah.
know?
It's dependent upon the position,
Unless it was
So-
Calvin Johnson when they were 0-16, but
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Um,
true.
Okay,
he
so
had a hell of a year that year.
So I want to move on from what we're talking about, just because we're starting to float away from what we were talking about before. And I want you guys to watch that video again, and I'm going to put it up on the screen right here so everybody can watch it. I'm not entirely sure what Tom Segura was thinking, but on Monday, no, not on Monday, 5 days ago, so it would have been Saturday, he was playing pickup basketball, and fell and just completely destroyed himself. It was like the most awful, he physically, what happened in the video could not have happened to literally anybody else. And I don't even know how it actually happened, but if you watch this video, okay, it's turned all the way up. Anyway, he puts his arm backwards, and then he ends up getting surgery. I'm going to play it right here. Pause that, and then whatever. Yeah. Pretty disgusting. What do you guys think? You think he should probably stick to just comedy like Aaron said?
I don't know what to think. He slipped and destroyed his arm. He's a fat old guy, and he's not an athletic looking guy, and
No.
all he did was try to go up for a layup and somehow just cracked his arm in half doing a layup. So
If you're going to do that to yourself during a layup, you should probably probably lace up the basketball shoes and stick to telling jokes.
Definitely just stick to telling jokes.
I will say though, it did make me laugh, and that's his job. So
hey,
it did not really make me laugh the first time I watched it. The second time, yes. The first time, I wanted to vomit. That was gross.
Yeah. I don't do good with the snapping of bones. So this is a good transition. I was talking about him snapping his arm, basically. Tennessee Titans, they're playing the Ravens again. 2-game winning streak on them.
Yeah.
And is Lamar going to snap that streak on what they play on Sunday?
Yeah.
What's your take on that, Aaron?
I don't know, man. So another thing I love about Derrick Henry is, like you were talking about, he's a closer. Both of these last couple games with the Ravens, it's been a good first half. And then Derrick Henry just kills him in the second half, just runs away from him, runs over him, runs away from him. That last game this season, he had that cutback touchdown that that iced the game again. They're gonna need to hit him, and they're gonna need to hit him early if they want to have a chance, because Lamar hasn't shown that he can play from behind yet.
The only thing I would say that they have going for him is that Tennessee defense.
Yeah. Terrible.
it's not going to be able to handle that rushing game that they got, which is cooking right now.
And they have no pass rush either.
No.
At all.
So I think this is a must-win game for Lamar. Conversations are going to start arising of, can he win you a playoff game even?
Yeah.
He can win your team in an MVP. He can, come back from the locker room, whatever he was doing. I ain't gonna get in on that, but come back and beat the Browns,
taking a big old shit.
Whatever, But they're gonna start asking those questions, So I'd have to say if anyone's got the most pressure on them this postseason, I'd almost say it's on Lamar.
I'd agree with you.
Yeah.
Lamar or Aaron Rodgers?
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers, I don't know if it's not being talked about a lot, I feel like, but he has a lot of pressure on him because, it was always the coach wasn't right for him. The defense wasn't good enough. They couldn't get the number 1 seed, and all that's done.
Yeah.
He's got a new coach. He's got a new defense. They've played better. They do have home field advantage. If he doesn't prove that he can go back to the Super Bowl and win it, there's going to be some real talks about if he as good as anybody thought he was.
On this topic, on the games this weekend, I want to get your guys' predictions for all the games, and then next week we'll come back. We'll see who was the closest. Maybe we'll do something for the loser. How about that?
You got a list of the games?
Say what?
All right.
You have a list of the games?
Yeah, I got a list of the games right here. I think this would be a perfect place for everybody watching this in the comments to tell us what they want the loser to do. What do you guys think?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd be all right.
Yeah, okay. So we're going to be starting right here. Colts, Bills, Gerald.
I got to go with the Bills.
And why is that?
The Colts are playing decent right now, but I'm sorry, I don't have a whole lot of faith in Phillip Rivers.
Okay.
And I don't have a whole lot of faith in Phillip Rivers, and I'm not the biggest Josh Allen fan, but him and Stephon Diggs are doing pretty well. They've got a connection for sure, and that defense is playing pretty well too. They got some good guys on that side. So if I had to say, I'd say the Bills.
Okay. Aaron, what do you think?
I'm gonna go with the Bills as well. I think the Colts can win if they have a really good rushing attack and Phillip Rivers isn't forced into situations where he has to make a big play because he'll just throw an interception. We've seen this. But Josh Allen is getting a lot of hype right now. And this is before he's done anything in the playoffs. Last year,
a lot of pressure.
They blew a 16-point lead last year in the playoffs, and he ended up fumbling a ball above and behind his head at the end of the game.
Yeah.
I've been seeing things about how the Bills are the best team in the league right now. And you got to trust your quarterback a lot to go through the entire playoffs.
Yeah.
That is a lot. And he hasn't done anything yet, but I do like the Bills in this game just because of their playmaking ability. I don't think the Colts are very critical.
On that, I am also going to go with the Bills because I hate Phillip Rivers. I hate him. He's literally the bane of my existence. Him.
I don't like him much either.
And Cowboys fans. The bane of my existence.
Yeah, if you're a Cowboys fan, just stop watching, please.
No, don't stop watching.
Get the hell off of our podcast.
Okay, so we'll go to the next game. Rams Seahawks, Aaron.
Man, it depends on who plays. Is Jared Goff playing? I haven't seen that he's playing yet. Obviously, if Jared Goff's not playing, I'm taking the Seahawks. If Jared Goff's healthy and Cooper Kupp's back, I kind of like the Rams. I really like their defense matching up against Russ. Aaron Donald is always, Aaron Donald's a freak, but against the Seahawks, he's on a different level, it seems like, every time they play.
Mm-hmm.
Jalen Ramsey's going to take DK Metcalf out of the game for most of the time. I like the Rams if they're fully healthy.
Like the Rams. Okay. Gerald.
I'm going to have to disagree with you there. I think because all your points are correct. Aaron Donald, I think he's the best defensive player in the league, and I think number 2 is quite a ways down there.
Yeah.
I mean, dude's dominant. Jalen Ramsey, top 1, 2 lockdown corner in the league. So yeah, I think he's gonna give DK all he can handle. But you got Tyler Lockett on the outside. He's a guy that is going to be able to cook. And then they got their full rushing game now because Chris Carson's going to be back, right?
Yeah. I don't actually know. I haven't. He might be. I don't really know.
Yeah. Well, I have a little more faith in Russ, and I think even if Jared Goff plays, he really hasn't had that great of a year.
He hasn't.
He really hasn't been playing very great. But I'm going to go with Russ, and I'm going to go with the Seahawks. But the Rams got a good team. So
I think it'll be a really good game.
I think
either way.
Yeah, I think it will be a 1-score game.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna have to go with the Seahawks. Also, I just like Russ. Everything I pick is gonna be based off of opinion because I don't know anything about statistics. But I like Russ, and like we were saying earlier, he was popping off at the beginning of the year, and I imagine that he might pick it back up, or I would at least like to see him pick it back up. I think he can. But yeah, I'm gonna go with the Seahawks.
I will say, hold on. If the Rams don't have Jared Goff, I am switching my pick. I'm just telling you that.
Yep, gotcha.
Okay. The next game, the Bucks and Washington. I am strong, super strong on Washington.
Me too.
4-1 with Alex Smith. Kind of. 5-1. Yeah, that's right. Chase Young, absolute animal. He is a force to be reckoned with, and no one's stopping that kid. Gerald, what do you think?
I'm gonna have to differ from you guys again on this one. Devin White's gonna be out for Tampa Bay. That's gonna hurt their defense. But Alex Smith went down with another injury. So his status is still up in the air, And if he does come back, the defensive side, they're not great. They've given up some points, but Washington's had some trouble scoring some points. So if you don't have Alex Smith in there, I don't even Tyler Heineke, is that his name?
Yeah,
I think so.
Yeah, that's his name.
Well, if Alex Smith does play, he's not going to be 100%. And then Chase Young called out Tom Brady, and in recent past, that hasn't worked out for the people calling Tom Brady out. And I get it; it's different. He might not have Mike Evans, but I'm going to go with veteran quarterback, veteran coach, and I'm going to go with the Bucks.
Aaron.
I also like the Redskins.
No.
I look at
the Washington football team.
Yes.
The Washington football team is my pick. If you look at some of the teams that they've lost to, a lot of those guys are mobile quarterbacks, and that gives their defense fits. But when you're playing against the statue that's been there for 20 years, Tom Brady, he's not going to be able to get out of any of these sacks. And I'll tell you, once they've got, 5 first-round picks on their D-line?
Yep.
And Tampa's offense is a vertical passing offense. So it's not like they have a whole bunch of dink and dunk, short, quick out passes that they utilize. So they're going to be dropping back and trying to get the ball down the field with that pass rush in their face with a, average running game to try to, counteract that. I don't think that's going to go very well for them because when Tom Brady's been pressured this year, the Bucs have been bad.
Yeah. I see it. I can see that being another game that's fairly close.
Yeah.
I just don't know if the football team can keep up on the scoreboard with them. That's the only thing.
I agree with that completely.
Okay. Next game. We got the Ravens and the Titans.
That one's really tough for me. I think that might be the most competitive game of the weekend, honestly. I'm gonna go with the hot team. I'm gonna go with Baltimore. They're hot right now. That rushing game's working, and I think Lamar. I have a gut feeling that he hears all the talk. He hears everyone saying, "You can't get past the Titans. How are you going to be able to get past teams like the Chiefs, Steelers, Bills, those teams right now?" So I'm gonna go with the Ravens in a close one, a real close one.
Close one for the Ravens. Aaron.
I'm also going to go with the Ravens, actually. Like you're talking about, I think Lamar's got a fire under his ass right now, and I would be surprised if he doesn't. Even if the Ravens lose, I would be surprised if Lamar doesn't have an insane game. They're going to be on all.
How many yards is Derrick Henry going to have?
Well, if it's a close game, I think he could definitely go for about 150 to 160, no doubt. Yeah. But if the reason I like the Ravens too is like we were talking about, the Titans have the worst pass rush in the league.
Yeah.
And I think the Ravens are going to be able to, utilize the run, but also drop back and pass. And Lamar's going to be able to, let his arm go a little bit and, utilize the talent around him. And have a good game in the passing offense just because that pass rush is terrible.
One thing before you get in here, Sam, is we've talked a lot about the Titans, but we haven't mentioned anything about the rest of their guys on offense. Mm-hmm. And Tannehill's playing secretly pretty good right now.
Yeah, I agree.
You can make the argument he's a fringe top 10 quarterback right now. You got A.J. Brown, another Ole Miss guy on the outside. Corey Davis, he seems like he's starting to figure it out a little bit. You got Derrick Henry run the ball, but that's setting up that play action. And Jonnu Smith, he's up there. Yeah. He's ranked up there with tight ends.
He's pretty good tight end, yeah.
So Titans got a good supporting cast, but
they do.
But I'm still with the Ravens. I still gotta go with the Ravens.
Yeah.
On that note, just because I think I'm going to play devil's advocate on this one and go for the Titans because of what you said. Because I don't know.
Yeah.
And you guys pick the other team. Yeah, I think I'll take the Titans.
I wouldn't be surprised if the Titans won.
It was a tough pick, so
I would not be surprised.
It's going to be close.
It's going to be the best game of the weekend, I think.
Agreed.
Bad blood between them too. They're still pissed at each other for the last couple games.
Mm.
Yeah. I don't think we'll see Derrick Henry throw another touchdown pass. So
no, but I bet he breaks one that's above 30 yards.
Be sick.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
The next game, this one, Bears and Saints.
Saints.
Do we have to talk about this one much longer?
Let's move on.
Saints.
Yeah.
I'm not trusting Mitch Trubisky to do anything but be shitty.
One thing. Aaron's boy, David Montgomery, he's playing.
Yeah, he's tearing up, dude.
I
had my faith in this guy. I'll tell you that.
He's tried telling me, Big 12 running back there, and he's showing out.
You of all people should be a Big 12 supporter.
We got a shout out to another defensive guy who's kind of been hidden in all the talks and everything, but Khalil Mack still.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, yeah.
He's still a man among boys.
Yes, he is.
So But despite all that, I don't give the Bears much of a chance at all.
Okay. And the last game of the weekend, the one I'm the most excited about because I happen to love one of these quarterbacks to death. The Browns and the Steelers. Aaron.
I'm gonna go. As much as I don't want to say this, I'm gonna pick the Steelers. The Browns they're not gonna have their head coach on the sideline. They're not gonna have their best offensive lineman. And with Baker being his first playoff game and that team's first playoff game in almost 10 years, I can't see how they're going to get past that. Even though I think it's going to be a really low scoring game. But I trust that I think Big Ben will find a drive at the end to get the W. I don't know. That's going to be a tough game to call, but I think I like the Steelers just because I think their defense is better. I don't think the Browns are going to destroy their rush. Like last week, the Browns won by 2, and the Steelers weren't even playing Big Ben.
Yeah.
Something with the Browns missing their, those 2 giant pieces is enough for me to pick the Steelers there.
Gerald.
If you were to ask me last week, I'd have to be rolling with the Browns. Rolling with Baker, trying to shut up Colin Cowherd. But
I wish.
But I got to go with the Steelers, and for the reasons Aaron pointed out. It's good to see them finally back in the playoffs. I'm not a Browns fan, but I'm sure that was hard. That sucked.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna have to. I'm going with the Steelers. They also were missing T.J. Watt last week too, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think they rested TJ.
So he's going to be coming off the edge against a backup tight end. I mean, a backup tackle probably. So Baker's going to have his hands full, and without Kevin Stefanski, who Baker finally feels comfortable under a head coach.
Yeah.
He finally feels comfortable under him, and you've been seeing good things from Baker and good things from the Browns finally.
Yeah.
Yeah. And can I say one thing before you go, Sam?
Go for it.
If the Browns lose this game, I feel like a lot of people are going to jump back on Baker and say he's no good. But I couldn't imagine being the quarterback that tries to turn this franchise around. Do we all forget
not winning any games?
Do we all forget how bad they were before Baker Mayfield?
How many quarterbacks?
Does everybody still understand? They had 27 quarterbacks in a row that they hated. 20 fucking, and Baker leads them to 10 wins. They would have had 11 wins. They probably would have won the division if their whole didn't go on the COVID list and they had to play the Jets, without any of their weapons. I know it's the Jets, but they're still an NFL team with NFL players. If their whole wide receiver core didn't go on COVID, they'd probably win this division, I think.
And
I agree
OBJ
with you
didn't get hurt.
Well,
actually, it's better without OBJ, in my opinion.
Yeah,
that might be a topic for another day. But but just to be real short with it, I wouldn't be opposed to the idea of looking for trade options for OBJ.
I would. He doesn't fit. They don't fit together, and that's perfectly fine. That happens, and it just didn't work. Move on.
Yep.
Speaking of moving on, I think it's my turn to say who I think is going to win this glorious Sunday night football game. I believe in Baker. The dude that lives in the stadium, I believe in him. I think he will pull it through, and he will win this game because...
Dude, I hope he does.
I know he will.
I'm with you there, too.
I'm positive.
I hope so, too.
I know it's going to happen.
I hope I'm wrong, and I hope you're right, Sam.
I do hope I'm wrong, but I just don't see it happening.
I don't either. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so that's that. Next week we'll find out who had the least amount of teams right. I got a list here. I'm going to be putting them on the screen for everybody. my last topic that I really want to talk about, and then we can get on anything you guys want to talk about. Urban Meyer going to the Jags. What does that future look like for the Jags?
Very bright. Even if we're not talking about Urban Meyer, Trevor Lawrence does not come around often. I mean, ever. The last time anybody was talking this big about somebody was probably John Elway. Like, I know Andrew Luck had a lot of hype coming out, and I liked Andrew Luck a lot. I loved Andrew Luck, but even he wasn't getting this much as Trevor Lawrence is, and it's hard for me to say that he hasn't delivered what they've been talking about so far.
Mm-hmm.
I think he can go to a shit team just like Andrew Luck did and make them good right away.
Yeah.
Well,
They need some work.
if Ohio State wins on Monday, his only losses are against national champions.
Yeah. Yeah, he's had 2 losses. I mean, against Ohio State and LSU, like you can just say that and be like, oh, that happens to everybody. Everybody loses to those teams.
One of the best things on his resume is he gave Nick Saban probably the worst loss in his college coaching career with Alabama, at least.
Dismembered them.
In that national championship game, which was just covered with first round talent. I mean, Trevor Lawrence lit them up.
He was 19.
He had help, obviously, but a 19-year-old kid lit up Alabama in the national championship game on the biggest stage. So he's a proven winner. He's got the size, 6'5", 6'6", down-to-earth, coachable kid. You pair him up with an offensive mind, a veteran coach like Urban Meyer, who's proven that he can win. You pair him together in a free agent destination with $100 million in cap space next year. I mean, that's a hell of a selling point.
It is.
And speaking of money, I just looked it up. It was said Urban Meyer was only asking for $12 million a year to coach the Jags. That's pretty good. I mean, if you're the Jags, you'd want to take advantage of that for sure, right?
I'm not sure. Because John Gruden, I think, makes $10 million a year.
Oh.
And all he's done is crumble at the end of seasons. So $12 million seems like a bargain to me for Urban Meyer. If you're like, hey, you can have Urban at 12 or you can have John Gruden at 10. I mean, fuck that.
I think
if you want to pull him out of his job, broadcasting.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's what it takes, I mean, you got a generational quarterback coming in. You want the right coach there because it's shown no matter how talented you are as a quarterback, if you don't have the right coach or GM, Texans are a great example.
Oh yeah,
you could have the most talented quarterback. You have the most talented quarterback, and if you can't put pieces around him and you can't coach winning football, I mean, not much you can do. And I hope.
Yeah.
I'm glad that the Jags ended up getting him because I think his future is much brighter with the Jags than in New York.
Yeah, I didn't like the idea of Trevor Lawrence going to the Jets. I did not.
Well, he didn't either.
He didn't. I really wonder what would have happened if he would have ended up at the Jets, if he would have just been like, please get rid of me, or what he would have done,
We're never going to know.
He might have came back to school. I don't know. You don't know what he would have done,
Yeah, well, I'm glad we'll never know. I guess that's for that. You guys got anything you want to talk about?
I'm gonna talk about the Jags for one more second, real quick.
Okay.
Their franchise has been ass for the whole entirety, except for 2017 when they made an AFC Championship game. If that owner wants to turn around
in the early 2000s where they weren't bad.
Okay, yeah.
But
thoroughly, pretty much, ignorable as a franchise. The owner of the Jags has a choice right now about his coach, and if he nails it, they're going to flip that script instantly.
Yeah.
If he nails these jobs to go along with Trevor Lawrence, I'm talking 3-4 years. They're going to be in the Super Bowl conversation a lot. That's how good Trevor Lawrence can be.
Well, and that's how
I
good
think-
he could also be, definitely with Urban Meyer there for sure.
Yeah, exactly.
I firmly believe that you put the right pieces around him. I think AFC, I think Pat and Trevor Lawrence are going to have a lot of games against each other. A lot of,
Dude,
big
the
games against each other.
The AFC is so rich of young quarterbacks right now. Like
It is.
the entire AFC outside of Big Ben and Phillip Rivers is all young guys, and it's exciting to watch. Like,
And I know
a whole new era is in.
You guys don't like to hear it. I don't like to hear it. But Justin Herbert and the Chargers,
Dude,
they
I
make
love
a couple
Justin
good
Herbert.
picks. I know
He is
they make a
really
couple
good, though.
picks, though.
He's had
It's going to be competitive.
He's had some really good stat lines this year. He's looked
He's had
really
a hell of
good.
a year.
Yeah.
And Gerald is as my witness in this. I thought Justin Herbert would be the best out of this class last summer.
I can vouch for that. I did
and
not.
I was wrong about
didn't
Joe
think
Burrow.
It was going to be worth it.
I was wrong about Joe Burrow. I didn't like him.
I was too.
That kid is the real deal too,
My boy
and he's
Joey B.
he's already made me eat my words. But Justin Herbert,
Me too.
man, it sucks being a Chiefs fan watching Justin Herbert.
I'm excited to see what Joey B does next year when he comes back all healthy and whatnot. I seen a video of him walking. He looked like he was doing pretty good, so pretty excited for that.
He might be, he might be getting a teammate back in the draft too. A former teammate from LSU.
Oh my gosh, dude!
He gets paired up with Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Joe Mixon, Joe Burrow. I mean, that's another. I mean, that would make the AFC. What is it? AFC North.
Yeah.
That'd make the AFC North hands down. I think it already is right now, but hands down, probably the most competitive division in football. Easily.
Either that or the NFC West. They're pretty good.
I mean, are all four teams though throughout? I don't know if they'd be that good. I don't know.
I mean, the Cardinals, the Niners, the Seahawks, the Rams. That's a pretty good division when they're healthy.
Have to see what Jared Goff's like.
But I mean, they're back in the playoffs and they made a Super Bowl 2 years ago.
That's true.
And Sean McVay is a coach, man. That guy.
Oh yeah.
The coaches in that division.
Yep.
But yeah, I agree with you. The AFC North is going to be good for a while.
Yeah. No, I agree with you.
If the Steelers can find a replacement.
Yeah. Mike Tomlin's still going to be there. They got a bunch of young guys around him.
Hell of a roster. Just, an old, unathletic quarterback.
Yeah. Yep. So, but I think there was one other thing we wanted to bring up. We wanted to bring up the Eagles and Washington game the other day.
Yes.
And
oh yeah.
And my boy Jalen Hurts getting subbed out in crunch time. And I realized he had 2 interceptions that game, but he also had 2 touchdowns. He had them in position to win that game. But I guess Nate Sudfeld showed that he deserved reps in the fourth quarter. And
this is a loaded conversation.
Doug Peterson thought that he was coaching winning football, which, in my opinion, nope, I don't think so. I think they were looking for that 6th overall pick rather than 9th
to move up 3 draft picks. I agree.
I don't think tanking is completely out of the league. I think if you say it's non-existent, I think you're just kind of oblivious to it because, Jags and Jets both probably could have played a little bit better. But, I mean, look at the Jets. They gave up the 1st overall pick to win a couple games.
That's true.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't think – I didn't like it, obviously. I didn't think it was right. But I don't think Doug Peterson's going anywhere, and that's sad to say for Jalen Hurts and a lot of the Eagles players because, Eagles got a good roster. They got a good roster.
They do.
And
they have some holes to fill, but they do have a good roster.
I was going to say, you hate to see something like that happen to a dude like Jalen Hurts and then somehow get twisted on him like it's his fault when it's obviously the coach's fault, and someone's trying to make Jalen Hurts look bad, like, oh, he had 2 interceptions, like you said, but he was also, like you said, had already scored twice and was in position to win the game for him, and then they took him out, and that sucks for a dude like Jalen Hurts. It really does.
Well, the whole thing, before you get in here, Aaron, the whole thing about getting snaps for Nate Sudfeld.
Yeah.
If you have a guy in there for 4 years, he's a 6th-round pick, and you've had him in there for 4 years, you know what he is. If you wanted him to get reps, you would have gotten him reps. And I get there was
throughout
no
the last
preseason.
4 or 5 games, probably.
Yeah, and I get there was no preseason. But why would you wait to the last game of the year in the 4th quarter to get a guy like that reps?
At a very important point as well.
I just don't see it. I just don't understand it.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense because if from the Giants' perspective, they have no right to be angry whatsoever. If you want to be in the playoffs, maybe you can go 500 in your season and not only win 6 fucking games. So the Giants can piss off. I'm not even going to talk about that much more. But think about Carson Wentz when he was having his MVP caliber season. He had 33 touchdowns and almost led the league in touchdowns after he missed 3 games. Fast forward to now, he looks terrible. He does. And the Eagles go last year and take a quarterback in the 2nd round that, to be honest, would probably still be there early 3rd, late 2nd round. He probably would have been there in the 3rd round still.
Agreed.
They not only took him prematurely and benched Carson Wentz for him. So you're telling the guy, this is your job. This is your job. And then you go into probably the first significant game of his career. Obviously his first game ever is significant, but like last game of the season, you have a chance to knock out a playoff contender and go into the season
in your division.
In your own division. You have the chance to go into the offseason on a high note, but then they pull him out. What are you doing? You've already ruined your relationship with one young quarterback that you took early. What are you doing? Why'd you take him in the 2nd round if this is what you're going to do to him? What's that tell him? You know what I mean? Like, I have all the faith in the world that Hurts can be a franchise quarterback. He's super athletic. He throws a better ball than you think he does, and he's a fantastic leader.
Yeah,
he's got all the intangibles.
Well, I watched every game he played at OU last year. I watched every game, and you can tell that he's a better passer now.
Yeah,
he's a better passer now, but he gives you that run element.
Yeah,
and he's a strong dude.
He's really very strong.
Dude. He's durable.
Check out his lifting videos on YouTube, people.
Yep.
He's jacked.
Yeah. Yep. He's a beast in the weight room. But you can make comparisons to he could be Dak Prescott like. And I'm not a big Dak Prescott fan.
But that's a good comparison.
He's good.
I mean, Dak, say what you want about him personally. Dak is a good quarterback.
Yeah, I like Jalen Hurts. I like his leadership and his winning ability better. He comes from 2 college programs known for winning. He's played in big games.
Yeah.
He's played on the biggest stage his entire life.
If you go back to when he was at Alabama and he got benched for Tua, the first person to congratulate Tua after they won that title was Jalen Hurts. That's the guy he is. He's an excellent teammate. He's an excellent leader. He's just an excellent person. And they just throw him to the bench for no reason after they had told him that, they probably told him that the keys were his. I just
Yeah.
don't get it. I don't know what they're trying to do with Jalen Hurts, but whatever they're doing right now is not good for that relationship.
Get Hurts out of Philly.
I mean,
Send him to the Bears.
Did you guys see what Carson Wentz said about Doug Peterson?
No.
He said that their relationship is like broken beyond repair, like fractured beyond repair.
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, what's Jalen Hurts thinking right now? Probably the same shit. Like, is this what Carson's been dealing with? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
no wonder he's, pissed off.
Yeah. And I mean, some people might say that the selling point for Doug Pearson was, Jalen, I subbed you out so we could get a higher draft pick, so we could get your wide receiver help. Because that's what I would be shocked if that pick is anything other than wide receiver.
If it's not, there's going to be a riot in Philly.
I would be shocked if it's anything but wide receiver.
It
but
has
that's
to be.
Or is that just from now on? If you know you're not going to win the Super Bowl,
Yeah,
are
no
you
shit.
just going to tell Jalen, hey, I'm going to sub you out so we can get a higher draft pick?
Yeah, and he's a gamer,
Yeah, no,
he wants to win.
Yeah, he wants to win. He was throughout college. He was wanting to win. You know. I don't know. He lost 1 or 2 games at Alabama. Lost 2 games at OU. So his record is, insane.
I will say, if they would have taken Jalen Hurts out, and I'm not gonna like shit on Sudfield because I don't know anything about the guy. I don't know. I know he's not a starting quarterback, but when the Dolphins benched Tua and put in Fitz to close a game, like that's a whole different thing.
Yeah.
That is not the same thing. Fitz has proven that in small doses he can be lethal. Nate Sudfeld has proven that he's a practice squad quarterback. And that's just, I've seen people saying stuff like on Twitter about how that's like a similar, it's not the same at all.
No.
Jalen is obviously the quarterback of the future there, and they took away his first signature win that he could have had. I just don't think it's fair. I don't think it's right, but
it makes you feel bad for all the Eagles players.
All of them, yeah.
Because, I mean, you look at everyone playing for the Jets and the Jaguars. They don't want to lose all those games.
Yeah.
I can't imagine any of them wanting to lose games because they don't care about draft picks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some of them, those draft picks are going to be their replacements.
Yeah.
True.
So they want to win games. And, how can you trust your coach after something like that?
Yeah.
And it's shown that the quarterback-coach relationship is about the most important thing you need for a winning football team.
I just looked, and this is an article from 4 hours ago. It says Coach Ron Rivera maintained the plan is still to start Smith if healthy and insert Heineke if necessary, by the way.
I do like – that's a tough game to call, but I think Washington's defensive line is really going to give Tom Brady struggles. I really do.
I think so too.
But like you said, I don't think Washington scoring is going to be an issue for sure.
No. But Washington's got a bright future though.
They do.
They got a bright future. They keep making good picks like they are.
Yeah.
Keep making good picks like they are, They get that quarterback position figured out. Get some O-line help.
What if they draft Jalen Waddle?
Yeah.
Right by Scary Terry?
Him and Scary Terry, and then Gibson in the backfield.
Yeah. Could be a good team in a couple of years, man. They could be.
Dallas better figure out what they're going to do at quarterback because
they don't even know.
Because the Washington football team is getting better.
Yes,
I can't say anything about the Eagles. I can't say anything about the Eagles or the Giants. But
hey,
Washington's
Joe Judge is doing a good job in New York right now, I think.
He is.
I think he's turning the culture around. They're definitely
I agree.
not very close to a Super Bowl, but I think he's slowly starting.
I'm worried about Danny Dimes.
Oh yeah, me too, for sure.
The boy.
For sure.
I don't know.
He trips on his own feet.
Well, we know another quarterback who tends to trip on his own feet, who happens to be one of the best quarterbacks.
Mark Sanchez.
No. It's a different guy that can't run at all. Tom Brady.
Hey.
Oh, Tom.
He's got good footwork now, but he looked like a goofy kid when he first started.
Oh yeah.
That goofy kid's won 6 Super Bowls. So
Yeah,
true.
I'm not talking trash. I ain't saying nothing bad about it.
I know.
I'm just saying this guy he still kind of looks weird when he runs.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he's 43.
You think you'd be able to hire a trainer to fix that, but
He probably don't care. He's like, I can throw the ball. Why do I need to run?
You guys have seen Pat Mahomes run.
Don't fix it, I guess.
Yeah, Pat Mahomes does kind of run like a fairy.
Pat Mahomes don't run very great.
No.
I mean, he's a great runner on the field. Like, I'm not saying that, but the way he runs, he doesn't look graceful.
It's weird, yeah.
But then when he slides, it's super graceful.
He's
so
fast.
What the fuck do I know?
Yeah.
He's faster than the person chasing him most of the time. I'll tell you that.
That sliding comes from his baseball background.
Oh yeah, and he's so good at it.
Yeah.
He's so smooth. Like him and Kyler and Russ, watching them slide.
Uh-huh.
You guys remember when Joe Flacco tried to slide the last time?
Oh, yeah.
And he got his head blown off? I remember that.
I bet once he's healthy, I know someone who is going to be working on his slide, and that's Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Dude.
He was working on it.
He don't want to get hit like that again.
He should never be hit like that again. They need to draft the kid from Oregon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's the kid from Oregon?
Yeah, he's an offensive tackle. He's a lock-in. Pro Bowl. He's Sewell. Yeah.
Penny Sewell.
He's a stud.
If he falls to them at 5, Joe Burrow's Joe Burrow's going to have some help. I just don't know if he's going to get past the Jets, but
it's true.
Jets might be looking at Justin Fields. Who knows?
Mm-hmm.
I would.
But that's we can fill up a whole episode with all that.
Yeah. So. With that note, I think that's all the time we have for this episode, guys. Unless you have anything special to tell anybody. Got to bring anything up?
I don't think so.
All right. Well, thank you guys for hopefully watching, listening this first episode. Gerald, thank you for being here. Aaron, thank you for being here. This is going to be the normal crew. I doubt we ever have any other guys on here. We might, but we don't really like people. So
maybe my dog.
Yeah, his dog. I guess that's it. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe. Maybe give that comment that we asked for earlier. And see you guys next week. Thank you.
Boomer.
Deuces.